Alright guys, so here we have a 3.6 Chrysler, pretty common engine on Jeeps, Dodges and other Chrysler vehicles. Today we're installing the Amazon Aries intake system. Alright, tools needed. It's 8mm socket. I'm gonna start by disconnecting the hose here. You can come out easy. You can pry it. In my case, I just yank on it. So we're gonna remove the 8mm holding the box. I see one here. I think yeah, only one here, and then pull up, and then we're gonna go into the throttle body side. And also disconnect every electronic first. Alright, so after you unlatch the box there, you're gonna come here to undo the sensor. Use your nail, press in and pull. And this little tab right here, press and pull. Okay, then this just comes up, loosen up the 8mm here, and then give it another little wiggle, and it's out. If your throttle body is dirty, spray a little bit of brake clean, a throttle body cleaner, clean it with a rag to increase airflow. Alright, and this comes out like this. Turn. There goes the OE intake boot and air housing system. Look how much space is left.
Whole system, we have 3 couplers, 6 clamps, eyewear, bracket, hose, insulator, rubber housing, and 2 pipes, and of course the filter. Alright, let's put this thing together. Advantage of this time to show you guys how to clean a throttle body. So spray this, you can use any brand, I use DG. And we're gonna wipe anywhere that you feel carbon when you see it. Very important, keeps the throttle very accurate. You know, these wires send signal to your computer and determine how much fuel to use. Especially now, that's gonna have more airflow. The more accurate, the better outcome, right? So, there it is. Nice, clean, and free throttle plate. Be careful installing. You wanna lube the O-ring with something. Some type of grease or even any paste should work. And then once you're in there, you're gonna slide it carefully without breaking it. So nice and steady. See? Until it seals properly. Checking the inside, see how it's going, and give it another push. Bam.
Next, you're gonna pick the 2 clamps that says 72 to 95mm and the smallest coupler, which is this. Just make sure that you leave the clamps towards this position, so it's, you know, more convenient to tie them up. Right, next step, we're gonna use the clamps from 78 to 101mm. Right, and the bigger coupler. So you see, we have fewer and fewer parts. This thing goes here. Alright, again, I'm not tightening everything yet until. Alright, next I'm gonna remove the old little grommet from the original box, and I'm gonna place it here. You're gonna see why.
Glue is key, so to make it easier, you can use grease. I just make it easier. You can buy this over the shelf too. Heavy duty silicone. And just snug it in. Alright, there you go. Sit. Nice and snug. Perfect.
And then you might be wondering what tool size or socket or wrench you need. 14mm for this side. And drive it in, so it starts looking good. Right after that, see this piece, if you wonder what this is for, it goes here. So to help you, you can lube it too. or you can just push it with a screwdriver and make it snug. Alright, then we put the shield and the big bolt. Now they give you flat washers. My favorites, to be honest guys, I use lug washers. You see the one with a cut here? Why? Because when it rattles it doesn't get loose, whereas if you use a flat washer like this, it tends to get loose. Alright, so then we're gonna get some extra washers, and in here we're gonna use the original 8mm that we removed at the beginning, remember? And it's starting to look like cold air intake system. Right, next step, you use the smallest bolts that they provide. One lug washer will do it. We're gonna screw this, the last coupler between here and the last side of the pipe. That going this way. You can see we can fit it. I gotta loosen it up. Most likely gonna have to loosen it up there and fit it here. See, perfect example why not too tight before you got all your pieces together. So I'm gonna loosen it up there and snug it in, and then tie everything up into place. Oh, and don't forget your hose. Alright guys, so this is the final product. Nice and tight and snug, as you can see. I left the lettering facing up. The clamp bolt on this side, so it looks nice and neat. You can see the name clamps on this side and this area here. I zip tie this, run the hose here, zip tie it again, and then zip tie it again here so it's not flapping. So take a peek right there. It's nice and sturdy. You're not touching anything, because once the engine starts moving and then it starts scraping the tube, it looks ugly. And then here too. So everything is done now. Snug all the clamps. Basically you're gonna line it up where it is, hold it with one hand and tighten it up. This is tight too. And the cherry on the cake, the sensor. That concludes the installation. Well, forget. I'm gonna put those two bad boys here, and these will conclude the installation of our cold air intake. Again, thank you for tuning out PardoTek Automotive. I want to keep posting a lot of material that I have saved. I just don't have enough time, but figure I'd do something for people buying this off Amazon. Alright, PardoTek anywhere in the web. Subscribe, give me a like, recommendations, good comments, negative comments. I'll take them to improve. Thank you guys, and until next time.